agency is kind of like the outreach arm of the secret network. And okay. Yes, a secret agency is like the outreach education arm of Secret Network, which is a privacy private smart contract chain in the Cosmos ecosystem. So I do a lot of workshops and university lectures and conferences and stuff like that. Yeah, I kind of jumped into this world 2 years ago, and it's been a wild ride ever since. I don't think there's many resources for people who have taken the first step. So hence why we did this workshop today. Is anybody in the room taking the first step today, wants to jump into the Web3 industry? If you just put your hands up. Okay. Is anybody in the room like part-time Web3? Looking to go full-time maybe? Yeah. Cool. What about full-time, round the clock? Yeah. First off, you guys. Cool, yeah, so let's skip through. I've never used this before. Okay, so it's not really clear at the top, but first of all, let's talk about what our skill sets are. Okay, so my skill sets, I used to be a chef. I can think fast on the spot, kind of run a lot of different little clocks in my head and deal with problems all at the same time. So I'm good in like high stress situations, and yeah, so I kind of crave that kind of fast paced environment. Does anyone want to be brave and take the ball? Just put your hand up. Yeah? You go, Paul.
What do I need to do?
Just talk about your skill sets, like what you're good at.
I guess analyzing data and local patterns in data. Anyone else?
Very, very useful in Web3.
Okay. My skill set is about designing and entrepreneurship and building ideas.
Nice.
Here.
A lot of room for designers and all these different projects.
Here? Okay, yeah. Well, I'm good at making decisions. It's weird because I usually make decisions and I don't have enough data, but I say I have like a certain level of confidence when I'm making decisions that it allows me to actually align the team and push forward, basically.
Yeah, I think we're the same. I just go at it.
It's funny. My wife usually tells me that I know shit, and I say stuff like with such like confidence that she actually believes me. And it is like it happens all the time. You ask me something, I know nothing, and it's like, yeah, this is the way to go. And like, how do you know that? I don't know. so yeah, I think that's my skill.
Nice. Yeah, so we've got the project leader, the analyst, and the designer. You can see how you can form a team from the different skill sets already. Does anyone else want to go? Okay, right over there, just shut the ball. Just speak into the red dot.
I'm Web3 developer. I'm programming Solidity and Little Dash. And I want to work with free projects, like part-time.
Nice. So every project really needs a developer. So there we go.
So I'm good at product management, and the key here is because I really want to join the Web3 space. Looking forward for the talks.
Nice. Well, welcome. Okay, sweet. So yeah, so you can already see how there's a range of different skill sets in the room, and every project, every new idea in the space needs a variety of different people to make it happen. If you don't have a designer that makes your stuff look really nice, you're going to have a bad time when you come to market products. If you don't have a developer that can make it secure, people are just going to hack you. You know, if you don't have the analytics in check, then investors potentially aren't going to look at the project because they can't see things like total value, long-term, that kind of stuff. Okay, so you need every single skill set to be able to make a Web3 project work. What about, let's move on to the personality test. So, assuming everybody took the personality test, does anyone want to be super brave and talk about their personality? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, there should be that few out there. 16 personalities we should have taken into. Yeah, the ball is over there. Does anyone complete the test and want to talk about their personality score? Oh, okay. Well, what was the results?
It was so good.
Yeah, okay, cool. So mine, for example, is like assertive. Like, but I make decisions really fast. Like I'm man at the back over here, but I don't consider people when I make those decisions. I just move and then kind of wait for everything else to fall in line behind me. So you can see how you've got like maybe strengths could be good to move fast and great stuff, but it's also a weakness that you need to consult with everybody else before you make a move. Yeah. So what do you think about how if you were about to launch a Web3 project or jump into a team, how would your strengths play to your advantage, and what would you need to work on in terms of weaknesses? Anyone want to take the ball on this one? Yeah. Okay. We got very solid here. Okay. Just speaking to that red dot, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that my main weakness is that I'm a very sensitive person, so emotionally I fluctuate a lot and struggle with mental health. But that's also an opportunity for me because I can fine tune with other people, and I'm also working with peer support. So I'm also doing peer support in mental health, but also for entrepreneurs. So that's it. I guess that it's a kind of skill or diversity that goes both ways. So sometimes I'm vulnerable, but also this makes me connect easier and accompany other people.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's great because I need someone like you in my team to help me connect with people because I'm just like driving the car off often. Does anyone else want to go?
All right, my name is Philip. I think it's amazing how everything is in blockchain and everything, but my problem is concentration, right?
Yeah.
I tried to learn programming even in Web2 years back. I tried the CSS, HTML, the JavaScript stuff, but yeah, it's always difficult. So trying to figure out how to probably code with Solidity and stuff, like way back I started to show an interest, but yeah, the concentration is something. But I found out that creating content and trading and stuff is way easier for me. So I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Coding is not bad.
Yeah, so.
I mean, does anyone want to grab the ball? But yeah, I tried the same as well. I tried to learn on Caffeine's Academy. I did about 2 weeks and I was just like, I can't do this. I'm just falling asleep. So, but yeah, I really like making graphics and stuff like that as well.
Anyway, I think my issue is there's so many cool things to make that I want to make all this stuff. So I'm always torn between projects. I'm like putting some of my time into this one and something new and more exciting comes along. So it's kind of figuring out what that one thing is you want to work on and putting all of myself into that rather than spreading myself into it.
Yeah, so maybe you need someone to help you execute on an idea that's fantastic and bring it through.
Relentless execution is what my co-founder is saying.
Perfect. Good to you. All right, so let's move on then. Okay, so yeah, a lot of time it is a centralized organization, which is what a lot of these projects are. It's not, you're not got your traditional power structure like a normal company, Web2 or any other industry, where you've got the CEO at the top, like a triangle, and then sort of the board or the middle managers, kind of entry level jobs underneath that. Often the governance of the organization is just flat, or it's based on how many coins people have, or staking and stuff like that. So it can be quite hard to break into those organisations because they're often quite tight-knit communities. You really need to use your initiative in this industry and find out where are the gaps. So I was going to show an example of NIA, which is an ecosystem with this guild structure that loads up. So often you'll find that there's like separate groups for different specific problems, like maybe different language groups. You might have a Russian community within a network, or you might have, let's say, the marketing or design community. So you need to identify those communities. If you can see this, it's quite kind of, I'm going to invert the colours. So you can see there's like different gaming guild, for example, curators, things like artists, Mexico. So you can find these communities that just kind of like find the one that fits your skill sets and your personality. And then you kind of need to use your initiative and see what problems are they having and where could I fit in to the ecosystem. Match up your skill sets with the community's needs, and then a big part of it is building up a reputation. So if you enter a decentralized community, you often need to build up trust with that community before you start to get jobs or something, or little tasks to do. And the best way to do that is by helping other people. So there's a huge learning curve to a lot of cryptocurrency protocols and projects. Often it takes new users a long time to onboard. So if you just go into, if you've already done an onboarding, or you've made a wallet, you've made a swap, if you then go into a community and help other people, it really helps to build up trust quite quickly. Okay, so my example is I started with Secret Network, just kind of making content, making memes and stuff like that, graphics for Twitter. And then I got into support, and I started helping people within the Discord to do the simple stuff that I was doing, like swaps, making new wallets and stuff like that. From there, I went on to do technical support, so helping when people had lost funds and stuff like that, and they couldn't find their funds, so a bit more intense kind of customer support stuff. And that helped me to build up kind of trust, then lead the awareness part of the operation, and eventually the secret agency, which is like recruitment outreach. I kind of built a team around myself as well as I started moving up. I found other people that maybe had the skill sets that I needed, like analyst or designer. I kind of built them up with me to build the secret agency and brought them all together and created what now is Secret Agency DAO. Does anyone else have a similar experience which they'd like to share? Start throwing the ball around again, whoever it is. And someone who maybe has been in that Web3 for a while.
Well, my experience is a little bit different, actually.
How I got into Web3, specifically into crypto, was because I'm originally from Argentina, so high inflation country, difficult to save money. Usually everybody saves in dollars, and then the government started imposing restrictions to acquiring dollars. So crypto, all the cryptocurrencies became like an alternative. So that was my door into crypto. I started because I wanted to save some money, and then I was trying to invest it. And I tried trading. I suck at trading. I do not do trading anymore. But I stayed because of the tech. I actually fell in love with the tech while reviewing, like, okay, let's take a look at this asset. Okay, I kind of like it. Let's see the project, and then trying to understand how everything worked. That actually led me to teaching myself how to code. So I started with front end, and then after a couple of months, I was actually developing like the front end and some smart contract. So I deployed like several fake coins, ERC20s, NFTs, just trying to understand how everything worked. And yeah, I decided that I want to like I don't want to work for like Originally I was working in the product management department for an OTA. So it's like booking. So I was in charge of the car rental companies and transportation services. Then with the pandemic, I switched remotely and started working for a company that is based in the US. And it was in the construction industry. They were building 3D models that were rendered server side. So it was pretty cool. It's like Google Stadia or GeForce Now, where you have the rendering on the server and you stream the video feed. Well, but for 3D models that contractors and architects would use when they were visiting facilities or the construction sites. But that industry is like, it just feels like you're talking with dinosaurs. And at the same time, I was actually learning Web3, how to develop everything, like how to build something by myself. And then I just decided, okay, I have a skill set, maybe I'm able to help out. And I started like sending at least 50 resumes per day. I dedicated like 45 minutes, 1 hour to sending resumes to every project that I saw. Because at the time, product management, like people from product, were not a necessity. It was like a developer-focused world. So either you had design skills or development skills, like engineering skills. So people with that product-specific skill set were not that needed at the time. So yeah, I started as an associate for a US-based protocol. Actually, it was a stablecoin, and that's how I started. I got into it. It started with blockchain adjacent kind of role, and then I slowly transitioned into a more DeFi Web3 centric role.
I think that's how a lot of people go. It is often overlooked the kind of maintenance of a product after it's hit the market. And I'm a food product developer as well by history. So a lot of skills transfer into the Web3 space, but often the developers don't fully either marketing or there's a lot of conflict that can happen. Let's move forward. Okay, so does anybody know this quote? We rise by lifting others. It's actually a little bit longer than that, but Robert Ingersoll was an abolitionist in the US during the Civil War, and also one of the first openly agnostic people in the US as well. I think that rings true for the Web3 industry. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but there's many different paths. So you could, over here at the top is like a content creator. You could be a translator, you could be a developer, you can be an educator, you can make deals, you can be a negotiator, or you could do public speaking. Okay, the main gist of this is that Web3 industry needs people at all levels at the moment. There's a lot of jobs going, there's a lot of opportunities. Often the pay is a little bit higher as well, because there's more risk attached, so you tend to get paid crypto. So let's have a look at some example paths in a minute. So a big question I get a lot from students when we're going through this is where should they start? And it's kind of hard from an outsider perspective to see what the decentralized community looks at in principle. So here we've got the example of ETH, right? We've got the ETH logo in the middle. That's like the layer one, we call it, the protocol itself. Okay? And then you can see all these computers and laptops and phones outside. So there's a lot of applications that run on Ethereum, and each one has its own theme. Okay? Stablecoins, DeFi, governance, all sorts of stuff. And then outside of that, you've even got the communities as well. You've got, you might have like a finance community, you might have like a Latin American community, you might have a legal or university community. Okay, so there's a lot of different levels that you can jump in at. You can join the network, that or community level. And from my experience, most of the progression is reputation based. So you move up by kind of proving that you're trustworthy, proving that you can handle and take on the problems that the app has. I think the most important lesson is to just work on what you enjoy. So if you don't enjoy developing or coding, just move on to something that you actually enjoy and smash it there. and be collaborative with other people. Okay. Okay, so the first kind of example path, this is from Secret Agency as well, this is one about progression paths as engagers and recruiters. So the positive energy in the room, bringing people in and educating them without being condescending. There's a lot of like big words in this world, and the people struggle to understand, so it's important not to make them feel bad, if not know anything straight away. And building reputation, building kick-ass teams, develop your leadership skills. So a Secret Agency, we actually have a weekly leadership mentor meeting, so we teach people how to lead teams, or we teach people how to improve their communication skills, do things like these personality tests and emotional intelligence to try and help people think, where are my strengths, what should I work towards, and what are my weaknesses, what do I need to work on. It's every Wednesday. And yeah, does anyone know who said this quote? You can mine for gold or you can sell pickaxes. Maybe a clue is right there. It's actually Levi Strauss, the famous jeans manufacturer. So he made his fortune by selling pickaxes during the gold rush, and then he took the team of people that had to make pickaxe business and went on to form the Levi's jeans. Number two, then, feel free to jump in if anyone wants to ask questions at any point, is the designer and educator. So often the development teams will put out a lot of really technical information that's hard to absorb for a lot of people. Like, let's say at Secret we have an upgrade come in, and there's this wall of like text about runtimes, cos and wasn't, and all this kind of crazy stuff that a lot of people just don't understand. So designers and educators help to translate that into stuff that everybody can understand, like infographics or articles or video pieces, maybe. And a key kind of point for them is to just never be afraid to ask for feedback. If you're a content creator and you're trying to move into Web3, then always try and get feedback from the community on what they think should be included or what should be changed, because it'll help you the next time you come to tackle a similar project. And yeah, in the Secret Agency, we actually, if anyone comes to us and says, hey, I'm a content creator, I want to make content for YouTube, then we'll pair them with another content creator that's got more experience, help everyone's skill sets rise. And eventually, you can become what's called a thought leader in space, or often referred to as KOL or key opinion leader. Someone like Vitalik, for example, is a key opinion leader. He's got thousands of followers on Twitter and jumps on his every word kind of thing. Yeah, these are just example paths of what you can do in the spaces. Translators, moderators. So if you're lucky enough to have more than just English as a first language, a second language, then you can take all of that content that designers and educators have made, and you can translate it. You can help to build out international communities. So every single protocol and project needs at least the Spanish, at least the Chinese, at least the Russian community to start. They often need Urdu communities and all sorts of different languages. So if you do speak more than one language, you can just help translate. There's lots of work there for translators. You can just take all the content, translate it, pump it out. Not just for one project at the same time. Often we see translators working for like 5 projects or 10 projects at the same time, doing the same stuff. And it's like a full-time job for them. Completely freelance, they can go on holiday whenever they want. One piece of advice that I'll give from our international communities is to take like metrics, so measure how many people are joining. If you're like a moderator of a, let's say, French Telegram channel, then take graphs of how many people are joining, how many people are engaging, how many articles you're translating, how much engagement is happening with your content. because it really helps when you go to another project and say, how can grow a French community? Look at all this graphs and information, I've shown this community this much. And then, yeah, you can sell yourself to different projects as a specialist in nurturing those global communities. From my experience, every single Web3 project is hiring linguists. So if you just take a look, these are like the top 25 spoken languages in the world, and if you can take any of this top sector here, you generally find a lot for Web3. Another example of that is like let's say a networker and a public speaker. So this is actually a picture from Adrian's workshop. The man who organised this conference today. He was teaching a class full of newbies how to open a ledger, like a wallet for the first time, and do their first DeFi swap. Props to Adrian. He's educated people at every level. You kind of have to follow the path of the engager, the recruiter, and the educator for this one. You get to build up the knowledge over time to talk confidently about whatever protocol you're working on, the project. A good way to do that is to go to like a conference and shadow the leaders. So to get my kind of foot in the door, what I do now, I went to a conference in Lisbon and I just followed the leaders of Secret Network around, listening to everything they were saying. So when people are coming on to me and asking me about it, I'm wearing a t-shirt and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'll have to ask the boss. So yeah, you have to kind of shadow them around, just follow them, listen to how they speak, how they operate, how they connect with people at events. And then a good piece of advice is to start local. If you're going to be doing events and networking, Eventbrite and Meetup are great websites to find grassroots events in the city. For example, you can join the Web3 family group and find pretty much weekly events and networking opportunities. There's also NFest that are doing NFT related stuff. We did a workshop just last night. And we've got Privacy Guardians as well, a new one that is run by Brando, and it's going to be focused on privacy technology. Okay? You can practice speaking with the friends you make there to kind of get your skills. So like, I've bounced a lot of this stuff off the wall in the past and measured his reaction. Like, yeah, I use that in the presentation. And I'd say just practice with your mates until you feel confident enough to smash it. Yeah, and then arguably one of the major paths that's most needed in the industry is developers. So yeah, there's a lot of work out there for developers, whether it's Solidity or you program in Rust or any of the smart contract languages. There's lots of opportunities out there. The pay packets are absolutely ridiculous for a lot of them as well. So here at Secret Network, we've got our Secret University. It's a platform for devs that want to dive into the privacy space, they want to deploy privacy-preserving smart contracts and decentralized applications. You can actually scan that QR code if you're interested in joining Secret University. And you get mentorship from some of the most talented builders in the cybersecurity space. A lot of our team based in Tel Aviv, which is like a hub of cybersecurity. They're all kind of ex-military and ex-MIT alumni. Does anyone need to scan that? Do you want to hold it for a second? Yeah, let's just hold it there. If you can't scan it, just come to the front and try and catch it. Yeah, I think some yeah, you can just, if you want to just walk to the front, did you manage to get there? Okay, I actually have a flying film. If you can't get this, just take that. Should be right. Just pass it around if you. And it's kind of hard to see because the sun's like shining back through, but it's like Secret University is going to be like a bounty list. So this is like a first look. We'll have the community of Secret Network will come up with ideas, like let's say, oh, we want a private credit scoring application built. So we'll pass that to Secret University, and then we'll have a bounty system where the students can take on some of those projects. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully we'll see some new devs coming. If you're already building on another protocol, maybe on Ethereum or a Rust-based protocol, that's quite easy to flip over to Secret and take advantage of some of the privacy preserving smart contracts. So you can just give me a shout later on if you're interested in that. Yeah, you can get grants as well. So if you are building on a protocol, often you can get grants from, let's say, NEO or Secret or another protocol to go over there. I think the future is very much interchain. So yeah, if you're already part of a project and you may be concerned that the chain you're on hasn't got enough liquidity or anything like that, it might be a good idea to start applying for grants. We are doing grants for NFT projects, for DeFi applications, infrastructure and tooling, all of this privacy focus. Yeah, so this is the end now, but I'd like to invite everybody who wants to take the first step into Web3 to come join us at Secret Agents. We do help to develop people's skill set and mentor everybody, and we actually issue secret NFT certificates for, let's say, a translator. You build a really good community, they'll issue you a certificate that you can then take to other protocols and say, I'm really good at this, here's my certificate from Secret Network. So yeah, there's a link there to join the Secret Agents, or you can head to scrt.network/agents and join us. We'd be happy to have you. So thanks everybody. Alright, cheers. I'm not sure if that's. Does anyone want to talk about where they got to with their career? Maybe someone wants any advice? Maybe like Q&A. The ball is coming over.
Hey, I have a question about doxing part. I mean, you're talking about reputation. For example, me, I have reputation in real world, not Web3. And for Web3 career, create my reputation, how to connect doxing, because I mean, for Web3, I don't think it's part to be doxing from start. Yeah, it means I need to create reputation in Web3 from start, yeah. I mean, for example,
So this is a big thing in Secret Network. We often try to remain anonymous, so like Skrillah and that inbox. Yeah, if you do want to remain anonymous, I think you need to find maybe scout for a project that needs your particular skill set, and then just go in and say, hey, I have to tackle this. Maybe start small and try and build up a reputation of what you need to do. I always try and find out who are the moderators and things like that, who are the people at the top. Or I try and speak to them.
I'm also like marketing, right? Yeah, and I have reputation of real marketing. That's why I must have.
You might want to anonymize a bit of your portfolio and then use that as an example as well. So my sister does that kind of design work. She's got a graphic design. She just kind of scripts the name of everything, changes the images so they can't be reverse image search, and then goes through that. Test. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, what were you saying? Yes, it is. It's much easier to start on than go back and read docs, but it is possible. We have another workshop on how to undox yourself and create like if you're a lead user, for example, can go through a secret network to make a private wallet that's not backed on Ethereum, that's not complete. So if you've been like filled with shit coins, for example, from a dodgy airdrop, then you can start again. We'll probably run that one in a couple of weeks with the currency guardians. Anyone else want to talk about the next week?